Mother's Day is almost here. Millions of us will be honoring the women in our lives who helped mold us into who we are today. Joining us live to talk about the history of Mother's Day.
Everybody else that you wish a Mother's Day to as well.
How will you be spending your day on Sunday?
Interesting question. So we're going to some show on Broadway. I don't know what it's called, Six something. I don't know what it is. And then we're going to some Persian restaurant, which sounds nice.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter about being with the family and enjoying each other. It doesn't really matter what you do. It's having that connection with one another. And whatever it is, if you have to make a phone call, don't feel bad about it. It's the goodwill and the nature of connecting that's most important.
Yeah, and maybe a conversation to have with Mom is the history of Mother's Day. So educate us. When did it come about? When did it become a holiday?
Well, in 1914, Woodrow Wilson decided that mothers should get a break, that they should be honored. Not a bad idea. So the second week of May was declared officially Mother's Day, and we've been celebrating that ever since, and it's a wonderful deal especially for the mothers.
Yeah. And, I think you hit it on the head earlier when you said, just spending time with Mom, whether it be, being with her physically, thinking about her if she's no longer with us, or making a phone call. It doesn't have to revolve around purchases. It's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts, absolutely. The one gift that stands out most are cards.
Cards, yeah.
It's sentimental. You can express your individuality towards your mother. The second is flowers. And the third are activities. But what mothers like most are photographs, are pictures. If you can get one framed with a family, they'll be in heaven. They'll be very happy.
Yeah, that is very sweet. And, as you can see with especially the younger children, just making those cards too, if you're not able to run to the store and go to a Hallmark, making those cards.
You keep forever. You keep them, you hang them up, and those are memories of who that person was at that time. It's really very sweet.
Writing a note, right? Writing a letter too can also be an idea.
With some crayons.
Yeah. Talk to us about, I thought this was really curious, and I know motherhood is a huge part of your identity. Talk to us, what is the average age for first-time moms?
Well, it used to be 26 years old, and that was 2018. Now today, it's really jumped up to the late 20s and the early 30s because in vitro, women are getting more educated. So it keeps being pumped up as time goes on.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I think my mother was, either 26 or 28. Maybe 28 when she had me. No, 26, and then I think 28 with my brother. But that was back in the late 80s, early 90s too.
Well, when I was 26, I felt it was old. I started at 22.
Oh, wow.
And people would say to me, what's wrong with you? Because at that time, you had to have kids as soon as you got married, which I felt was very rude. My husband was going to law school, but so I put it on hold. But yeah, I felt very uncomfortable. You have to have children at a certain time. Today, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You're free to or not to have children. It's up to you.
That pressure doesn't have the strong hold on people and society as it once did.
No, it's we're making more sense today. We're not being put into some peg here when we can't fit in. And we have to know that really what's important is that when we're sending the flowers, by the way, a quarter of flowers sent is on Mother's Day. So that's really a huge time. And people are biking together, and it doesn't have to be your mother. It could be a friend. It could be somebody else's mother. They're enjoying picnics and restaurants and barbecues and having events together as a family. So that's how it's changed. We're not saying, this is your mother, biological mother. There's so many different kinds of mothers. Who did you grow up with? Who took care of you? Who represents you? It could be an aunt. It could be a grandmother. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Just a woman who's played a big role in your life. Hey, I want to ask you, holidays, especially days like these can be tough for some people, especially for those who might have just lost that mother figure in their life, and this could be their first Mother's Day without them. Professional advice, expert advice here for these people who might just be struggling as we approach this Sunday.
You know, that's such an important question you're asking, and there's no reason why you can't celebrate the memory, making a toast, talking about that person. Don't worry about not saying anything, because it's the white elephant in the room. People are thinking about it anyway.
Yeah.
Clears the air, make a toast and say something that really honors their memory and brings back who they were, because after all, you did live that life with them, and it still continues emotionally, psychologically, in every single way. And some people, you know, they even think about their parents, their mothers, and they say, what would she say? You know, I know that my mother would micromanage me. And when I needed something really big, she had I don't want to be blamed, she would say. So I said, oh my God. So now I look back, I say, maybe there was something to it. But I do think about, and people should do this, you know, what would she say right now? I'm in this dilemma. You know, my mother would say, just go do it. What's your problem?
Right.
Get up and go do it. Don't think about what anyone else thinks. So those words keep emanating in my mind. The words that you didn't want to hear before, you just honor and cherish, and you keep bringing it back, hold on to it, and talk to other people about it too.
Yeah, they might have greater meaning. And it's okay. It's okay to struggle, right? It's okay to embrace those lows and welcome them, knowing that there will be another high, there will be another bright light shortly thereafter.
You know, only can you appreciate the heights of life when you have the depths of despair. You have something to compare, and then you know that life continues, and you have all these range of emotions, and that's what makes you as a person, the depth of who you are. So all the things we didn't like about our mothers, that they didn't know what they were saying, or they were crazy, or whatever it is, as adults, you know, we repeat it. So maybe they knew what they were saying after all. And I have a few quotes I'd love to share with you, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the listeners that I have here, because I wrote things down, and, you know, I didn't memorize these quotes. Everything else I did, but this I didn't. Everything else I did, I wasn't asked to memorize. But here they go. 1, to the world you may be one person, but to one person you may be the world. And that's Dr. Seuss, and that's a brilliant quote that we all feel the same way. And here's another one. Biology is the least of what makes someone matter. And that's Oprah Winfrey. You know, she developed a whole system of schools for these young women, and she mothered them into success. So she is coming from that place we were talking about. You don't have to be the biological mother.
Right.
Here's a third one. In all the world, there is no heart for me like yours. In all the world, there is no love for you like mine. And that was Maya Angelou who said that. And so, you know, when we talk about being a mother, male, female, some males mother their children.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they nurture them, and they give them everything. So that question you asked, you know, had a lot of depth. But one thing I want to tell you, do not use ChatGPT for your editing, because, you know, it really should come from the heart. You know, forget about being perfect. Who's perfect, and who says it in a perfect way? I sure don't, that's for sure. So we have to really know, you know, it's a time to really reflect about what it is that you are, who it is that you are, and who you want to be as you get older. And we have time to go ahead and fix the things we didn't like as well. So sometimes the best parents are the ones that weren't parented in the best way. But, you know, 87 million people, Zach, go to restaurants on Sunday, so watch out.
It's going to be busy, right?
Very crowded. I hope they don't go to the same restaurant. Not really.
The same one, right. I know a lot of folks down here, too.
Go.
Yeah, the forecast isn't looking so great for Sunday, so I think that's going to be the plan for many families here throughout the greater Houston area.
And I think $28 billion are spent on this holiday. $28 billion. And the average person, believe it or not, they spent about, I'll have you guess what?
The average person. I'm going to say $234.
No. How much?
234?
You're very close. You're brighter than I thought you were.
What is it? What is it?
More credit.
What is it?
I didn't know this about you. Okay, so it's $220. You know, I thought that was a
220?
$220, really.
So to be fair, we had a story one day this week, and it talked about the average price people spend on Mother's Day, and it was 200 something. I couldn't remember what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you remembered it.
Yes,
That's not
I
easy.
retained that.
I'm going to ask you a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is your memory of your mother that's anything
Oh my goodness, my favorite memory. She's still here. We celebrated her birthday last week, so it's always it's this weird point in time in which, like, do we just go big on her birthday, and that kind of makes up for Mother's Day. We include both of them. She's back in New York. I'm here in Houston. My brother's here in Houston. But she used to say growing up all the time, "This too shall pass," and it would drive us bonkers. It would drive us crazy. But as I've gotten older, I've really leaned into that, because as adults, you know, so often we are faced with adversity, whether it be at work or at home.
Always.
And so keeping that close by, this too shall pass, as cliche as that is, it really is true.
It's true. You know, when you're living the moment, you think, how dare her say that? She's not feeling those experiences, because we are who we are each moment of our lives. But you're right, as time does pass, we look back and we say, it's happened, it's gone. Now we're staying in the moment. And people do have trouble doing that. They're into the future, they're into their past. And so when you have that, and you have the heartbreak or difficulties with whatever is going on, you have to know that time will heal, and you'll be able to have other experiences. This is not the only one, but it is very difficult when it's happening in the moment.
Okay. All good information. Dr. Birnbaum, thank you so much for joining us.